In fact, let's try and just get some quick perspective on this with the market experts who've been patiently waiting by. Lancelot Dicuna from ITI Wealth Management and Ruchit Jain, technical analyst at Angel Broking. Lance, just a quick comment here as far as Uttam Galva is concerned. The management clearly clarifying that it's at a standalone unit, Uttam Steel and Power, where they've signed an MOA with POSCO. How do you see these developments for Uttam Galva Steel?
Well, I think financially, if immediately will have no impact on the listed entity, which is quite clear. And from a group perspective, like they had mentioned, it would help the group diversify their risk across various projects, etc., and make them more an integrated player. But if you look at it from a listed entity perspective, at this point of time, should not have any impact.
Fair enough. Ruchit, any quick technical comment as far as Uttam Galva is concerned?
Yeah, technically, if we just observe this weekly, monthly charts, then the low top, low bottom formation has been there in the stock. And in spite, it's just because of the stock has been in news, that's why we have seen this pullback rally. But overall, there is no change in the trend on the charts. So probably I would still wait for some sort of consolidation wherein the stock would be accumulated with high volumes for going long in this stock. So as of now, one should still avoid going long in this stock. Wait for some consolidative action with volumes which would indicate some buying or accumulation going on. Then only one should look to buy this one.
Once again, it's getting a little active. 7.5% higher now is what we're seeing as far as Uttam Galva is concerned. In fact, just let's stay with the mining in the metal pack itself. Lance, we're also been looking at those developments coming out of China today regarding the currency devaluation of the yuan itself. Tata Steel is the other one that we're keeping a close watch out on the back of earnings. Any comment for Tata Steel?
Well, I think if you're looking at the yuan as having any impact on Tata Steel, may not have any major impact because the devaluation was pretty small, and considering the overall impact on the price of steel, may not really have a major impact there. But I think Tata Steel, as far as the earnings are concerned, still is a couple of quarters away from getting back to profitability, because it's the most difficult part of the cycle. But what was good to note was that Tata Steel has been investing in various technologies and trying to optimize efficiencies, which could be good for it when the cycle begins to turn around. At the moment, it is a tough period for all commodity companies, including Tata Steel.
All right. Just a quick mention on Tata Steel as well, Ruchit, in terms of technicals as we are counting down to earnings today.
Brian, technically we have already seen the stock is in a corrective mode since last 1 year itself, and other stocks, in fact other markets are doing well. Well, from here the downside seems to be limited in metal stocks, specifically if we see this Tata Steel and Hindalco, then probably they have a good support around 240 and around 9900 in Hindalco respectively. So I think downside would be limited in these stocks, and on the other hand also we are not expecting any major uptrend to resume from here on. So I think these metal stocks now after a corrective rally should stay in a narrow range going ahead for maybe next 2 or 3 months. So in the consolidation zone, if the stocks come at the lower end of the range, then probably one can look to start accumulating the stock. But immediately we are not expecting any major up move. So probably next 1 or 2 months, these stocks would consolidate and go in a sideways range.
All right, can't ignore what's happening with Uttam Galva. Even a move further now, 14 to 15% high. Let's get the intraday going since we are still on the metal and the mining space itself. Pull up Uttam Galva once again. Remember, you heard it first right here on Bloomberg TV India regarding the Uttam Galva unit tie-up with the POSCO itself. That stock up 15.5%. Want to once again just quickly reiterate the news developments that we've been tracking as far as Uttam Galva is concerned. Uttam Steel and Power has signed an MOA with POSCO is what we're understanding. You're getting more details emerge now as far as the tie-up is concerned. We just heard Ankit Miglani take us through the details of that tie-up as well. He clearly mentioned the fact that it's going to be a standalone profit center is what we understand. But the unit is looking to set up a 3 MTPA plant in Maharashtra Maharashtra is what we're seeing as far as the tie-up with POSCO is concerned. Stock now is in a higher orbit of almost 16% gain is what we're seeing as far as Uttam Galva is concerned. Clearly, that stock's been moving or in focus ever since we brought you those developments coming through exclusively regarding Uttam Steel and Power signing that MOA with POSCO itself is what we're seeing. That stock around the day's highest point, a clear 15% spike is what we've seen on this counter so far. All right, one quick comment on SBI as well, because as we're counting down to the earnings of that one, stock's still been holding pretty steady. Lance, any thoughts here on SBI and how one should be looking at it?
Well, I think, SBI really is like the bellwether of the Indian economy. If the economy starts to pick up, we'll begin to see SBI pick up. At this point of time, I think the stock has, moved down and is available at, 1.5 times book value, which is pretty reasonable for SBI. And I don't think, there can be too much of negatives on the results that are expected. One needs to watch out for what is the restructured loan book and how the NPAs are playing out. Apart from that, I think, we are expecting the benefits of lower interest rates, to kick in and some treasury income to show up in SBI. And I think at every fall, this stock can be looked at be for accumulation given a 2-3 year time horizon.
All right, gentlemen, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us today, Ruchit. Thanks for getting us those technical calls going there. And Lance, thanks for your perspective on some of these newsmakers today. But the big headline over the last 25 minutes clearly has been the development surrounding Uttam Galva as far as the unit, Uttam Steel and the group unit rather, Uttam Steel and Power is concerned. They've signed an MOA with POSCO to set up an integrated steel plant in Maharashtra. Remember, the size of that plant is somewhere around 3 MTPA is what they're actually talking about. There won't be any strain on the books of Uttam Galva. It's going to be a standalone profit center that the management also clarified a few minutes back. And that stock is up almost 15% in the last few minutes as those details were coming out is what we're seeing. On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Market Movers. Stay tuned. World of Mid-Caps coming up next, where we touch base with Cambridge Technology, which has surged almost 700% in the last 1 year. Well, what's the buzz? What's working for them? We speak to the management, Ashish Kalra of Cambridge Technology. Stay tuned.